plus $28.40 a day in passive income with what's inside this box. This is the Goldshell AE Box Pro. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. And you're out here on the VoskCoin mining farm that I've been working on this iteration of my mining journey for many years now, or a couple years, I don't know, it's a while. Crypto moves at a fast pace. We just got this into review. Goldshell's going on a big marketing push for this, and some people say I look like Blippi with these. The Goldshell AE Box Pro basically makes 30 bucks a day and costs barely anything to run. It's not particularly efficient though. There's already a new model that's been announced that's better than it. And a lot of these new ASIC miners on newly ASIC mined coins have not been very lucrative endeavors. In particular, when I've gotten Radiant miners, some Kaspa miners, and ALF miners, they seem super lucrative up front, then ended up being total duds. But the good news is this mines ALEO at 44 mega hash a second for only 400 something watts. So it's not a big impact on the power bill, and ALEO is putting out a lot of money per day, over $300,000 per day in coins with mining. So it's out of nowhere created a pretty big mining ecosystem. Surprisingly, there's not one or two, but 3 PCIe connections on this miner. Also, pay attention when you buy this or they send it to you, because they have been sending this to every mining YouTuber they can find, to my knowledge. It does not include a power supply, and it's using an interesting way to split up the power demands here by basically taking a PCI splitter and splitting it here at this connection point, and it's saying, caution, reminder, plug this into the miner. One, you definitely don't want to do this backwards. Two, they're basically saying you need to do this because they are absolutely pushing PCIe 6-pin connections here to the max with how much power they're pulling through the Goldshell AE boxes. You can work smart or you can work hard. That's gonna be your choice. Got a little Wi-Fi connector in there. Just slap that on. I'm gonna leave this with the PCI connections on the bottom. This makes cable management easier here. And everything else is very typical of a Goldshell miner here, right? We have 2 intake fans on the front side. We have these PCIe connections that are being forced into PCIe splitters. We have our power system, LEDs, the IP button, the Ethernet port there, a little bit of intake airflow there on the bottom. You flip it over, we can see the hash board in here, massive heat sinks on the top and bottom, as well as the rest of the control board. We also have an RGB button, and we have a micro SD card slot over here, and that's it. A couple screws to take this apart. They're black screws, looks nice, matches the build and aesthetic here, and a couple warranty stickers. So this thing's pretty profitable. Let's not waste any more time. I'm trying out the meta glasses. I know people are gonna make fun of me, say I look like, I don't know, Blippi, or you guys are gonna start calling me Blippi again. All right. Pull the power supply up here. Gonna make all these different PCIe connections. This power supply is only rated for 240 voltage, or really 180 plus. So I've got a C20 to 2X C13 that I'm using, double checking that all those are connected. And then over here, I've got that connected to a PDU. And now I just need Ethernet cable. Got a spare one right here. Of course, I could be using Wi-Fi, but why use Wi-Fi? When I'm sitting on extra Ethernet cables and I've got space on a switch, that should kick the fan on. Should kick these fans on. And we're mining. Well, actually we're not mining. We're turning on. Now we need to set it up. Sounded cool for a second though. All right, we see that spinning up. This is my router device. You log into your router or use an IP scanner. This will be a quick crash course on setting this up. I'll punch in Goldshell AE Box Pro. Not the perfect way to name it, but it'll do. And then I've got the IP address here. All right, I flip this over to English. And then I click on unlock. And it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, we're in. Flip. Add. DX pool. My ALEO address. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll put dot AE Box Pro. Apply. DX pool is the mining pool to go to for ALEO mining. We have a referral link. If you enjoy the content, please support the channel and sign up using that link. So now I've gone and applied that. I'm gonna remove their default listing here. And then I'm gonna click on the home page and I should see this fire up. Once I see it start mining, I will also just restart it to make sure these settings are saved in there. You can see it started mining now. Click back over to my settings, still see that information. Basically only one mode here, one algorithm. Everything you'd expect. I'll force a restart from the miner software. Where did I get an ALEO address? Well, shockingly, this is traded on Coinbase. So I just grabbed an address from there. I wish these frames weren't so thick. I don't know if they complement my face. These are those Meadow glasses. I've been experimenting with trying to use something to get like point of view footage when I'm making content. You know, because I'm normally shooting by myself, and you know, it's just hard to get every shot that you want by yourself, or taking a ton of time just doing setup and prep there. So I don't know. Probably look like a dork. Probably don't care. But I'm very happy to see that this coin can be mined on Coinbase. The market cap for it's pretty low. It's like sub 150 million. It's down significantly from its all-time high. So it's down like 93–95% from its all-time high. If it went back to that, the mining rewards on these devices and the other incoming ones would be insane. Personally, I think that we're going to see a lot of mining competition on this coin because there's a lot of money to be had, over $300,000 in emissions. Like, to put that into perspective, that's like 10x more than Nervos Network, that has a market cap that's like 2–3 times the size of this, just, you know, to give a random altcoin comparison there. So I don't think the Goldshell AE boxes are going to be viable for a long time. If you watched our other video, I broke down the couple models we know about in the spreadsheet, and there are some new miners on the horizon that are 5 times more efficient. But what Goldshell has done, and what they've been very good at doing in recent history, is they've beat their competitors to the punch. And I mean, we have a lot of Goldshell miners out here, and a lot of these box miners they've done well overall, except for the AL box. The AL box miners, they didn't work well. They never broke even. And to be completely transparent, some miners we get for free basically to review. Some I get at reduced cost. Some I just buy straight up. Some we trade for coverage on the channel and all that stuff. I never hide anything. I'm proud of VoskCoin and everything I do out here, and my mining farm has been the biggest investment of my life, so it has not been a free ride. A ton of time, a ton of money, but I'm having fun, I'm making progress, it's getting bigger, it's getting better, And that's all I can ask. My rates are getting better. I'm down towards 7.5 cents. Eventually I can get around 7 cents with more mining capacity. And at that point I'm looking at solar. And I may not be the most viable point anywhere in the world, but I like where I am. And if I want to get my electricity rate effectively lower, right, then I'm looking at solar. We're throwing up 80 solar panels within a month, so that endeavor is finally kicking off to some degree as well. Goldshell did attach a test miner to my mining address, so you can see that is the AEBP that's still online down there. And the miner that I just hooked up is the AE Box Pro. So that is now hitting my mining pool address, and I can see that it's hashing. Not that I really need to double check because it's showing up at the mining pool at this point here in my miner dashboard. So this has been a very typical good experience out of the box. These devices are trading around $3,000, and you look at how much they earn, $3 grand doesn't sound that bad, right? Because I'm essentially making 30 bucks a day times 365. I would make 11 grand over the next year. But everyone's gonna make as many miners as they can, and it seems like Goldshell and iceriver keep making the same dang miners around the same dang time. And whatever they make, IB-Link seems to show up and also have the same chip integrated into their mining rigs. And then Bitmain says, okay, we're gonna make something bigger and better. So just altcoin mining in the ASIC game, right? An application specific integrated circuit miner, a purpose-built machine. These things only mine one algorithm, right? And just the altcoin ASIC mining, it has just not been going great this year. Dogecoin mining has been fantastic. Kaspa mining has become pretty miserable. And Bitcoin mining has held very solid since Bitcoin's been holding a pretty solid price point. I'm excited for the opportunity to review this miner. I'm thankful for that. And it's a great addition to the farm. But the risk versus reward on this miner price, its efficiency, and to be frank, just the way that these recent ALF and also iceriver miner releases have gone, first batch buyers have not even necessarily made their money back on some of these releases. Alephium or ALF mining has just gone terrible. And then I picked up the Bitmain AL1 for a whopping $30,000. I'm going into the light. I'm going into the light.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
Transition lenses, baby, let's go. And I haven't even made 1/3 the money back on that AL1. So for me personally, I'm focused on expanding my Bitcoin and Dogecoin mining efforts out here on the mining farm and continuing to try to review every miner I can, just with the content creation side of what we do. But as far as heavy miner expansion, I'm looking at SHA-256. It's of course Bitcoin, and Script, which is of course the second most profitable coin to mine in the world ever and has been that way for quite a while, Dogecoin. But hey, out of the box, the experience was good. The shipping was quick, it works. It has Wi-Fi support, which is very cool and undervalued. I would love to see them use their Plus design where they integrate a power supply. That's a very good experience where I get a device that all I have to do is plug a power cable into it. I really enjoy that more than needing a bunch of random spare power supplies. And that's just another thing that you could easily overlook or forget. Even as an experienced miner, oh crap, I forgot I had to get a power supply for that. Or you're new and you're like, I didn't realize I needed to also buy a power supply with that mining rig. So these are my thoughts on it. As always, you do whatever you want to do. Regardless of this miner model in particular, I think that ALEO mining will be here to stay just based on these emissions. It is a lot of emission for that market cap. I'm astonished that their emission rate is so high. And yes, it will decrease, basically to 10% of what it is over the next 10 years or so. But in the short term, in the immediate crypto bull run, there's a lot of money to be had. And if they can get true momentum for their project, which is basically a layer 1 blockchain, which is typical for most proof of work or mineable cryptocurrencies, then this could be the next Kaspa, if you will, of huge mining profitability potential without such a aggressive emission schedule reduction, which is why Kaspa mining has been so scary, because they reduced the amount of money mined on that coin every month by basically like 1/12, systematically basically halving themselves annually, but doing it in 12 pieces over a year. And I am back. Well, I guess I never left from your point of view. So we got several days of mining data here. So you can see my hash rate chart broken down here on the mining pool. If you like the content, please use our link to sign up for this mining pool, DX pool, and also please consider using our links and coupon codes down in the video description below to source one of these miners if you should choose to do so. But by the end of this video, you may not want one of these. So stick with me and let's dig into it. If we look at the different mining performance here, you can see I had 2 of these miners on my account back during this period. And for the last few days, you can see my earnings here are pretty steady, pretty straightforward. I'm earning about 60 to as low as 50 coins yesterday. So if we take 50 coins, that means that I've earned about $19. If we take 60 coins, I've earned about $23. This coin has continued to fall in price. So in the last 30 days, it's down 28%. Last just 7 days, it's down 15%, but it has rebounded with the market a bit here, up 4% in the last 24 hours. More of these miners are coming online. So we've been checking out Mining Now. They said, hey, we have a product like ASIC miner value, but better. And I said, okay, let me check it out. That sounds interesting to me. We use these kind of tools all the time. You saw what this miner was making the day I recorded this. That was a few days, several days ago at this point. So now it is reportedly earning about $23 a day, and it should only cost me about 88 cents a day or less at 8 cents per kilowatt hour for an electricity rate there. It's supposed to be mining 44 mega hash a second. And the bottom line is when you look at this spreadsheet, I just whipped up the basics here, and this was in the other video. If you're a subscriber, you're obviously awesome. If you're not, well, loser. Just kidding. No, I'm not. But you look at the efficiency, right? The incoming iceriver miner is 5 times more efficient. We'll see if they can hit their marks there. But yeah, this is mining, and it's working well so far. That's all you can ask. Remoting into the Goldshell AE Box Pro here, you can see our firmware version 2.2.1. Always check for updates, especially on Goldshell miners. We look at the hash rate of what it's doing, what it's supposed to be doing. It's hashing as fast as it's advertised to, or slightly above. And when we go and we check the performance here on the mining pool, we go hash rate 1 hour. You can see we're pretty much in that 44 mega hash a second mark. We go over to 1 day, it's averaging 48, 47, 47. So per the mining pool, it's actually doing a good bit better than it's advertised to do so. So I'm very happy to see that. A few Goldshell miners that were released over the last year did not hash up to expectations, a little bit below. So it's good to see this overperforming as opposed to, of course, underperforming. So Goldshell's obviously manufacturing and selling these. These are selling for about $3,000. You look at the other ALEO ASICs before discount codes and stuff, they're essentially $3 grand across the board, depending on which one you buy and when. And these prices will fluctuate. And at the end of the day, this miner it's nice. It has Wi-Fi support. It's a cool small form factor. I like the lower power usage. I mean, it's a good miner, right? As far as out of the box, right? It works. But you look at the emission on ALEO, it's pretty high. And it's like, well, this is going to be the next ALF. Well, it could be, of course, but ALEO is putting out 6 times the daily emission as ALF is right now. So I mean, what does that say? 24.5 times 6, maybe 24.5 times 5. Math is hard, that's why I double check it. I guess it's 5 times. It's 5 times the daily emission. So it could support essentially 5 times as many miners. I still feel really burnt because when we picked up the AL1, it was like $30,000. It was so profitable, and now it makes like $1 a day of that. So, it's skeptical, and then the Radiant miners didn't do well. So I can't get excited about these ALEO miners, but I will say that this project is better set up for success with already having a Coinbase listing, having more volume, having a decent market cap at 123 million right now. You know, putting out a nearly equivalent emission rate to that market cap in thousands, right? So over $123,000, $133 technically $1,000 of daily emission in coins produced here. So for me, the risk versus reward is not there. I'm going to wait to see some bigger miners because they always make bigger miners that have better density, better bang for buck and all that. And being early to mining a newly ASIC mined coin over the last year has not been proving to be a fruitful endeavor as it always had been in years prior. But we can't just sit here and live off the old playbook forever. If the game's changing, we gotta change and evolve and move differently within it. So hey, I'm Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Hope you subscribe. And if you don't want to comment about the miner, what do you think about the glasses? And if it's not a good comment, well, let me show you something way cuter than me. Tails, because we run 10 seconds of Tails Vosk, the owner of VoskCoin, the cutie pup that kickstarted this journey on this channel every time. I hope you like it. And if you don't, you. Just kidding. Or am I? I don't know. It's sarcasm or dry humor. Goodbye.